Immediate left is Ms. Claire Bell. I'm Ted Cronin, Chairman. On my immediate right is Ms. Janine Arnold. And next to her on the end is Mr. Tim Saint. Under Chapter 52 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, as amended, the purpose of the board is to hear and decide appeals where it is alleged there is an error in any order, requirement, decision, or determination made by an administrative official in the enforcement of the zoning ordinance. To hear and decide special exceptions to the terms of the zoning ordinance upon which such board is required to pass under the ordinance, and to authorize upon appeal in specific cases such variance from the terms of the zoning ordinance as will not be contrary to the public interest, where owing to special conditions a literal enforcement of provisions of the zoning ordinance will result in unnecessary hardship, so that the spirit of the zoning ordinance shall be observed and substantial justice done. The concurring votes of at least 4 board members shall be necessary to reverse any order, requirement, decision, or determination of any administrative official, or to decide in favor of the applicant on any matter with which it is required to pass under the zoning ordinance. Members may make and second motions, but they are not required to vote in favor of their motion or second. No member shall take part in the hearing or decision or any case in which he is personally or financially interested. Any party aggrieved by the final judgment or decision of the Board of Zoning Adjustments may within 15 days thereafter appeal therefrom to the Circuit Court by filing with the Board a written notice of appeal specifying the judgment or decision from which the appeal is taken. Has the Board had the opportunity to read the minutes of the last meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. We have 5 cases to hear tonight. 2 of them are seeking variances, and 3 abatement of nuisance issues. We will handle the variance issues first. That's a little bit out of order, and then we'll take care of the 3 abatement issues at the end. Case number 1278, applicant is seeking a front setback variance to construct the necessary structure on property located at 253 Driftwood Shores Drive. Property is zoned R1, low density residential district, and is Allen applicant. Mr. Allen, would you step forward to the podium and tell us why you need the variance?
I'm Jeff Robinson. Mr. Allen was not able to be here, so he asked me to stand in for him.
What was your name again?
Jeff Robinson.
Okay. Proceed.
Well, we just requesting this variance. I understand most all the structures on Driftwood Shores have had to get a variance because of the limited lot sizes and so forth like that. So he's wanting to build a garage there beside his house on a vacant lot that he's got. So that's our wishes.
Jeff, is there a reason that you can't put that closer to the center of the property so you don't have to have a variance, or is?
Well, it's Driftwood Shores. All the lots are sloped. You know, the road is extremely
He
higher
owns
than
2
the
lots.
river.
Excuse me. He owns 2 lots, and yeah, and the areas are so small, and where he's going to have to put the building, there's not enough room on the lot that the house is on. You got to have a primary structure to put an accessory structure, so that's why he's seeking the variance, because there's not a primary structure on that lot, even though he owns both of them. They're not joined together, but that's why he needs the variance.
And the lot itself presents the hardship.
Yes, sir.
Any board members have any questions? Mr. Robinson? I'll entertain a motion to approve the variance.
I'd like to speak, and I would too.
Okay.
Do I come up there?
Yes.
The lot is 128 feet from property line to the river on the piece of property, on the property line that joins my property. I don't know why, I'm sorry, it's 146 feet. I think the common setback is 60 feet, is that correct?
40 feet in the R1 off your front setback, and the accessory structure would be 60 feet, yes.
And we're building an accessory structure, correct?
Right.
So it should be 60 feet?
That's why he's applying for the variance. That's one of the, part of the request also.
Understand. So I don't understand why the size of this building is the issue, I think, more than the size of the lot. It's gonna be 32 feet deep and 36 feet wide, which is bigger than some houses that are on the street. And he's got a retaining wall that he chose to build on this lot, which will limit how far back he can put this piece of property or this building. And also, there's TVA setbacks also that might restrict his depth of the building. But,
Are you saying you support it or against it?
I don't have a lot of problem with the front setback. What I have more problem with is that he's building an 1,152 square foot building that, according to this drawing, I have no idea if it's a single story, a two-story, a metal building, or what, right 20 feet off my property line.
Jeff, can you answer that?
Who are we speaking to?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I mean, who is this gentleman?
He's talking to us.
He's talking to us.
Yes.
What was, I
Okay,
missed his name.
I've got a question for you. Does the lot itself present a handicap to Mr. Allen?
Was it a handicap? I wouldn't think so.
Could I ask a question, please?
Sure.
What does the size of the building have to do with it? The building?
It's the way it's gonna fit on this lot, for one thing.
Is it going to affect your property?
No,
Okay.
no.
I think the key issue, okay, you want to speak to the issue?
Go ahead.
Mr. Robinson, you said something not exactly correct. I've got a house down there. It's 38 feet deep. I met the minimum setback requirement without any problem. My next door neighbor, the Kellers, built an even larger house than I did, and their house met the minimum setback from the property line, the front property line. Now, and the folks next to them did the same thing, and the folks next to them met the same requirements. So I don't go along with that now. So that building lot is certainly conducive to meeting the minimum building requirements. Is it got to take a little bit of site work? Of course, so did mine.
Let me ask you a question.
I met the setback requirement.
Well, I'm not asking you that, I'm asking you in this specific case, are you for the variance or against the variance?
You know, I'm against the variance.
The drawing that he submitted to the city, that I have a copy of, says the 37 feet is from the road. Now, it's my understanding that setbacks are measured from the front property line, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So is this 37 feet from the road or from the property line?
I haven't seen it, so I can't answer that, but
Well, one of his property pins are out in the road. Well, what he's told me is,
37 feet on his drawing goes to the property line.
Actually, it
It
says
says variance of 37 feet from the road.
it does, not from the front property line.
Mr. Robinson just said that the pin is actually 10 there.
Where his primary residence is, if you're facing the river, the far right pin is out in the road because the road curves around at his house. So I don't know who you gentlemen are. I wish you'd identify yourself. I mean, are you the neighbor?
I am.
Are you the new house then?
I am.
Okay, so you've developed yours right up to and the property line, so,
No. Well, not the house.
no.
The house was a 40-foot setback. We did get a variance to go to 25 feet. We only used 10 feet of that.
Right.
Because we weren't sure when we were designing the house that we could get it all on the lot and stay above TVA 604 line.
Right. So what he's wanting to do is line the front of this up with the front of yours to be, conform with the rest of the houses, the rest of the structure.
So the 37 feet is from the road or from the property?
He's
Isn't
got
that
out here
important?
from the road.
To the board? Because aren't setbacks
Where is the post?
He's telling me that the far right pin is in the asphalt out there.
Well, this pin here, which is my common property line, is about 8 to 10 feet, I haven't measured it, from the road.
12 feet.
12 feet from the road. There's a telephone pole there, there's a property pin there.
You're talking about the property
Yeah.
where his house is,
Correct.
not where he's wanting to build this.
Correct.
Now, that is an odd-shaped lot, but the lot that he's wanting to build this auxiliary building on should be exactly like their lot, and we're the Greens, we're next door to the Richardsons. So it's the Allens, the Richardsons, the Greens, and all of us on Driftwood Shores have met the setbacks that you just said that most people on Driftwood Shores have got a variance, and that is completely.
Okay, I don't want to get into this argument. The basic argument is this. And let me tell you, the hardship as identified by the Code of Alabama is a property hardship. Does the lot have a hardship that forces this applicant to build where he's building?
Is that for him?
Yeah.
I feel like it does. Obviously,
How far are we up? 601 is as close as we can get to the river back there. He drops off pretty quick, don't he, on that lot? I know where he built his house does, but.
and they all do it.
Right.
Well, it drops off pretty quick because that's how he graded it.
That wasn't
When
the original.
when he tore down that Hamlin house, he had to grade out that property.
Yeah.
So if it presents a hardship because of the grading, well, he's the one who did the grading, and he's the one who built that retaining wall. I'll tell you what, you asked the question, are you for or against it? And there's probably a happy compromise in there somewhere, but I'm still of the opinion that property was rezoned R1 a handful of years ago. I went up and down that street getting the signatures to do it. And the Allens they're lovely people. And they signed the paper to do R1. Something of a happy compromise, but to tell you the truth, 25 feet off the property line, that's a little much.
And it still hasn't been ascertained, is this 37 feet off the property line or 37 feet off the road? Because I'm of the opinion that setbacks are based on property lines, is that correct?
Well, of course it is.
It says on our drawing here that the 37 feet is from the road. Now, I don't know. All we got to do is look at this, what's on the drawing.
Should
But
we
can
be-
I ask another question? Are all these lots the same configuration?
No.
Okay, well, that one lot could very well have a different problem from a lot right next door to it.
Correct. My lot got narrower or shallower as we went toward the house. But we built we built a residence, not an accessory building. So we needed the variance before your board to move ours closer to the road so that we could stay above the TVA lines and build the house that we wanted to build. And we appreciate you granting that. In this particular case, this is not a house, this is an accessory building on a vacant lot that has been altered by the owner to, if it is handicapped, it's handicapped because of his alteration, which I don't really see that it's handicapped. I think he's trying to build too large a building for the property. He doesn't even leave room for a home on this lot should he ever decide to build a home or sell it to someone else to build a home. Now, I'd like to go on record to say that Mr. Allen did tell me 8 or 9 months ago that he wanted to build a building on this lot that he could rent out to out-of-town boaters and fishermen for money. And being zoned R1, I explained to him that you couldn't do that.
Is that still his intention?
I have no idea what his intention is. He barely speaks to me, so.
But that's not the structure that he's discussed with me to construct, so,
What kind of structure are you planning to build?
a storage, a garage,
Single story,
yes, sir.
elevated from lot down here to a big high foundation to
On the back, yes, sir.
basically be up close to level with the road.
Correct.
So it's gonna be a very tall structure.
No taller than his house or your house, but I mean, it'll appear tall from the riverside because of the slope.
Right. So there's not gonna be like a garage underneath,
No, sir.
a garage above, single car garage, multiple car garage.
Right.
Are there any bedrooms?
No.
Plumbing.
It'll be converted to a house.
No, that going through the building department, she couldn't. He couldn't convert it to a house without going through the building department. And he'd have to get another variance to make it
Okay, now,
residential.
people, does any of the rest of you have any questions for any of these people?
Has this pavilion already been constructed, or?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I don't think it's been permitted. I don't think.
I think it has been. I'd have to go check to see, to be for sure on the pavilion. But
Who are you, sir?
I do believe,
He's building inspector.
I'm the building inspector for the city of
Okay.
Scottsboro.
Okay.
I also inspected your house. John knows, I don't know if you remember me or not, but
John, how you doing?
I didn't build it, see.
I do know we have water and electricity at the pavilion. What we would not like to see is that 6 years from now, or 10 years from now, or sometime when you pass it to someone else, that they decide that they want to put multiple families in that building,
They can't do that single residence.
Convert it to a house.
or convert it to a house.
Road elevation and the river elevation is 40, 50 feet.
From here to here.
From-
I know from here to here, policy.
No, from here to the river is minimum 3 or 4 feet. And then the slope starts here and goes to the road.
Slopes down.
Right. Aggressive.
So what is the retaining wall for?
Well, so they could have this semi-level spot here to grow.
Then
How much more would
how-
it take grading, or how much more work would have to get done?
Well, it would make the back foundation even taller than it's already going to be because there's so much slope on the lot that the foundation on the riverside is already going to be.
How are you gonna, then I ask the question, if that retaining wall, oh, okay, no, I'm fine. I'm sorry, that's wrong, okay. How steep's the drive gonna be?
Well, the drive will be fairly level coming off the road.
the backside of the garage.
Right.
That 20-foot offset on the side here, that already has the road.
It'd be like a rear yard.
Yeah, 12-foot metal. And this right here, the front of this right here is the same setback as what this is.
We were going to line it up with his house and this gentleman's house back there. So whether, I can't answer whether the 37 feet is from the pin or from the road or whatever, but I do know that we were going to line up with your house. We weren't going to try to move it out in front of it or anything like that.
So you don't have to answer, it's on the drawing, it's on the road, right? And I measured it back, and you're right, 37 feet, you measure from the road back towards the water. If you do a line of sight, we're pretty much in line with the front of the adjacent houses. But again, why is moving it that far when we've got plenty of room in the back? Just the way it's graded, it makes it feel undesirable building. I'm very familiar with it, you know, as you are.
Well, the further he goes back closer to the river it gets, the taller that back wall will be, and the higher he will have to elevate his floor.
Is this a case of the building is just too big?
No, it's got to do with the difference in the elevation from the road to the river.
But he created
But
that.
he's the one that
Yes,
did
it
it.
is.
Well,
We can probably call it some kind of compromise, but he's not here to do it.
yeah, but wait, I was the one that graded it. I was the one that tore down the house after it semi-burned and all that, so I'm familiar with this site. And regardless of what filling he did in between the two, the road level was A and the waterfront was B. He didn't change any of that. So what filling he did in between, you know, that's got nothing to do with the,
Did you build a retaining wall?
yes, sir.
May I ask a question, please? What kind of structure is this going to be?
Block masonry.
Block mason?
Yes, it'll match his house, which is a broke face block, so it'll be, you
My
know.
house is not broke, block. My house is stone and brick. Mine.
Mr. Allen's house.
Oh, Mr. Allen's house? Mr. Allen's house is stone.
He's got stone.
He's got stone on the front and broke face block around the garage.
He's got stone on the side, too, that faces us.
If this may, do you think this possibly could make your neighborhood look better?
No.
Y'all kind of seem like you want to be for it and you won't be against it, so.
Here's my thought on it. First of all, yeah, I'm his wife, by the way. First of all, if he doesn't build a structure where later on he can turn it into an apartment, I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with the setback, as long as it's not so tight that it blocks completely our views. Okay? River views are important, so are neighborhoods. And if it doesn't look like that pavilion, I have a problem with that. I would like for it to look good if he builds it, to go with the rest of the neighborhood, not some piece of crap up there that is nicer.
I could give you a list of the structures. I'm nothing special, but I could give you a list of structures and homes that I've built. And, you know, if I build it, you know, I've been doing this since 1982.
We haven't seen any drawings, so we
No, we
don't
don't
have a clue what
We
he's
don't know.
proposing. That's why we came. We
Yeah.
wanted to see what he was actually wanting to do.
Well, y'all seem to be concerned maybe that he may put something else there, like, you know, turn into something.
That is-
He'd have to get a variance from this board to do that. And we remember.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He is applying for an accessory structure, not a residence.
If he was applying for if he was wanting to build a house on it, he wouldn't even have to be here at the variance board. He could just come in and fill out for a permit and get a permit and build a house, if he wanted to build a house on it, and not an accessory structure. He's having to apply for the variance because he does want an accessory structure.
Yeah.
If you want to build something and make it a house, rent it out, live in it, whatever you want to do, he can do that because it's a separate lot from the house from the lot that his house is sitting on.
As long as it was
So he-
single family.
He wouldn't even need, sir,
As long as it was single family.
yes, sir.
And as long as it met the setbacks, as that R1 requires, and I thought we were here because he was seeking relief of variance for setbacks.
That and also to build the structure because there's not a,
A single-
you gotta have the main structure before you can get an
What all
accessory
this
structure.
computation on the top of this drawing is associated with? It appears to me like he's trying to show some sort of percentage of square foot of the lot.
When you apply for a building permit, that's some of the questions that
That's
are in
right.
there. We generally leave
You have,
that.
as for building,
You got the acreage.
you have to provide all of this information.
Okay, so are there any restrictions on the size of the building in relationship to the size of the house? Okay. When I built an accessory building in the city of Madison, there was. You couldn't build an accessory building larger than 25% of your existing house. And the way he figured all this looked to me like that's what he was trying to get to, but
Yeah, there are questions on the building permit application that are related to that. We
square
typically,
footage of the lot,
percentages and so forth.
but there's no restrictions or guidelines on accessory building size.
Your lot actually has guidelines on how much of your lot you can actually cover with structures.
That's right.
Like 25% of your lot can only be covered with structures.
Okay.
So, you know,
That's why he has to have the percentages on there.
and that's on our building permit application. Most people don't fill it in, but they put the lot size on there, so when we're doing the application and doing our plan review, we go ahead and figure it and put the percentage down there where we know and it's on our application. That's what he's probably done on the top of
I, for
that.
one, do not have a problem with the setback. I think the closer to the road that he actually goes, the better off all of us will ultimately be, as long as it's an attractive building. I don't know, I think church. I think it'll stick up out of the ground, but
Mr. Robinson, you didn't have to bring some pictures with you, some of your previous work.
No, sir.
I've seen some of his work and stuff, and he does a good job.
I mean, John is,
55 houses, something you've built so far.
yes.
I've been with the city 24 years, he's been building there since I've been here. I don't know how long he's been building, but I know he's been doing
I
that.
started building, when Domino's Pizza came here, when Mike Carter was still hanging on the side of Winford. So, do you guys remember Winford? So, yeah, I'm, you know,
we have nothing against this man, I don't even know this.
I worked on your house as well. I worked on your house as well. For the gentleman that built it, soft-spoken, fine young man, or middle-aged man. I can't think of his name right now, but his name of his company was his name. And yeah, I did a bunch of hauling. I hauled all you chert and gravel and hauled off the excess and stuff out there.
I remember the name.
Yes, sir. Green Kenworth International.
Topsoil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get back to the business at hand. Has the board had the opportunity to hear enough to make a motion?
I move we grant the variance.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alan needs to know that. Case number 1282, applicant is seeking a variance to construct constructed multifamily dwellings on the property located at the end of Sarabay Lane. The property is located on 3 different zoning districts: C4, regional commercial, R1, low density residential, and R3, single and two-family residential district. Garcia Ramos out. Oh, my.
Hi there.
Hi.
Did everyone get my sketch?
No.
You didn't get my sketch?
No, sir.
Well, I haven't seen it.
No, we have not seen it.
You said?
Gene, make y'all some copies.
Yeah. Hey, I think I can do that, actually. Hey,
They make copies too.
let's see if I can make some copies.
Okay.
If I can find paper, I think. How many do we need?
This is Glenn.
Five,
Right.
6, 7, 8.
Did you copy? Do you want a copy?
Sir.
Sir, sir,
Mr. Gates,
do you want a copy?
you want a copy? sir?
Yeah, I like that copy.
Well, went out there and looked at it.
It's all grown up there, out there now. We're out there trying to survey it. I'm talking in and getting someone in there, clear it, because there's no big trees, it's all.
Bush.
So we were having fun. But, we'd like to point out that, you know, it's gonna continue to be a dead-end street. We're just gonna extend it for our own needs, and it will be a cul-de-sac on the end of it, so.
I guess the question, have you gone to the planning commission?
You know, my understanding is we have to go to you first.
Okay. Well, I guess one of my concerns would be, if it's gonna be on a cul-de-sac. How many people, and like I said, I wish I had, now, how many people are we talking about now on a dead-end street?
Well, we're proposing up to 80 units. 80 units. There would be pretty much equal number of 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 1-bedroom units. So you could be looking at total number of family members, you could be looking at
Couple of hundred.
between 150 and 200 people. But, you know, includes kids.
Well, I guess the question that I would have to ask is, the board does have the responsibility to look at public safety.
Right.
And, want to make sure that and this would come under the planning commission, that road is conducive to get emergency vehicles back in and out.
Right. Well, the road will definitely be part to city standards, and it'll be sufficient to turn a fire truck around. So, yeah, but, yeah, I was just saying, I understand we need to come y'all first. I guess we could probably, get the planning commission about the same time.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, in the past, we've had some issues with dead-end cul-de-sacs.
Right.
And making sure that emergency vehicles can get in.
We got plenty of room to do cul-de-sacs, so we can make it any big. So I guess one of the points, this will only be generating traffic for the development itself.
You expect to call and say that.
No, we will definitely.
Here's the sewer line up there, he's showing.
Now, this is the sewer line and your property line. Here you are, right here. You come up to the sewer line.
You don't start doing anything over here.
No, we won't do anything over there.
Okay, now, the road I'm talking about, it'll go up from Sarah Lady.
Yeah. cash now.
Do you have any expectations for going north in the highway?
Hey, guys, this is a public meeting, address your
I'm just trying to
questions.
figure out what I'm doing.
I understand, but it's a public meeting, address your comments to the board, okay? You're on the floor. Tell us, go over what you were explaining.
Well, what I was saying was, here is the sewer line, and I own the property south of the sewer line.
Okay,
All right, my question was, is he going to go across that sewer line? And he said, no, he was not going to go across the sewer line. My other question was, are you going to use this property right here? He said, no, that was adjacent to me also. But he said, this property will not be used.
and your name is,
Robert Gay.
okay, gotcha.
All right, okay. And then he told me that he was gonna go up through Sarah Beatty as an entrance to this property.
Right.
I asked him, would it be maybe possible in the future, since land owns all that land up there, to go north and get into Highway 72 or another access to this property or for that matter, commercial property. Okay, now, I've known the man for many years. I've seen him come to Scottsboro as a young man. I saw him listening to good moderators. I've seen him do a lot of good business in Scottsboro and take a piece of property nobody else wanted and do well with it. And I've got no problem with this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Gay.
Yes, sir.
Does the board have any questions? The only question I had was about public safety.
Do you think you're gonna have adequate parking for all those people that are going to go in there?
Yes, sir. The city has standards, we will meet the city standards for this.
May I say one more thing?
Yes, sir.
When I received the letter from the city, I did not get any of this, so this is all brand new to me.
Brand new to everyone, knowing it.
We didn't get a copy of it.
Okay, I do assume that the city is going to, since, as Trump says, he's gonna drain the swamp. And it's a swamp.
Yes, it
You're
is.
gonna build it up 4 or 5 feet, whatever. Are you gonna have a good water outage for that swamp?
That's what he has to go over with the planning commission. He has to cover all that with the
Because right
planning.
now, I'm at like 6,000, 7 or 8 feet, and it comes a good rain, I get water off that now.
Right.
And if you dig a big ditch down through there, which I was gonna do myself, but I haven't done it yet.
Mr. Gay, the way it works is that if we approve the variance, then he has to go to the planning commission and get the street issues and the sewer issues and street lighting and everything worked out with him, so that he's in accord with all the city codes. So he has to, as soon as we do our job, then he's got another job in front of him, going to the planning commission to get all that worked out. So as far as the sewer's concerned, the planning commission will take care of that.
May I ask one more question?
Yeah.
If this is approved, and I assume it's gonna be, when do you think you might start construction?
Well, you mentioned something that kind of concerns me.
6 months.
Of course, we haven't even started our design yet. I mean, it's gonna take us 6 months to do our design.
Well, you'll have to come back and get another
We'll
variance.
have to come back again.
If it's gonna be more than 6
That's
months.
gonna, unless you want to table this right now and come back later.
Well, I need an answer from y'all. No, we're not gonna start a bunch of expensive design work, so I get an answer from y'all.
Okay.
Mike, what you got to do is
Yes,
come in and
situation.
apply for the building permit application, that would tie you up for another 6 months. You just gotta move on this variance if they grant the variance.
Right.
So the next step would be to come to, so you'd wait until you're supposed to the end of the 6 months to do the application. That way, it ties you up for another 6 months, basically.
And active
Gives you a window to wait
means
around.
that you go out and move a shovel.
You don't have to finish the project, just start it.
Just so you started toward it.
You're saying we've got 6 months to get a building permit. That's really gonna push us. But
do a continuance of some sort there?
We, I mean, we could-
Pending he meets certain requirements?
But
You want to say?
You could do a conditional approval, and then at a later meeting, we could.
yeah, you'd have to come back later, but we could
But we
do
could do a
that.
conditional approval, so you'll know that's where we're headed.
So that you can go to the planning commission and get all your ducks in a row. Okay.
So not only is the design, you know, but I mean, other things, I mean, it's gotta be sure.
Yeah, there might be some hidden things in there.
There's financing to be taken care of, you know, so it's a lot of issues to be taken care of. I mean, we'll give it our best.
Conditional approval.
But you want to do it in 6 months? I have a question.
That would be very close, very close.
Uh,
I have a question. You say he has to move forward with the process. Does that mean he actually has to be moving dirt? Or does that mean he has that before the 6 months is up, he goes to the planning commission seeking?
No, what it means is that he has in some way to enact the variance that if we offer him the variance or grant him the variance tonight, he has 6 months to enact upon that. If that means getting a building permit, if that means moving dirt, whatever it means is that he has made some response to the variance in order to complete.
So he doesn't actually have to start construction. He can.
But he could go out there and move some dirt around.
Maybe a small wall planted tree.
Where you own the property.
When you get close to the end of the variance, you come in and fill out for the building permit application. Then you make a move against the variance, you know, that can tie you up for a little bit longer,
Right,
you know.
right. But I mean,
Because, yeah, I mean, it's.
the application, though, we got to submit drawings while we're at, I mean, to submit the permit application.
I tell you what, we consider a conditional variance. You come back in 6 months, with the design plans, and then we will, act on it.
No, let's go ahead and do the variance now, either yea or nay. And we will,
You work within 6 months.
yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, if we have to come back, because he's not gonna want to start paying us to do a lot of design without a definite yea or nay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'll make a motion that we grant the variance.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you very much.
Aye.